where do you see the most activities for new homes in the Inland Empire area?
The new homes demographic is more towards again, a lot of people moving east is because the price point and the value of what you're getting is very attractive. So a lot of new homes they offering incentives and also because they are new and they are under warranty, so people want less headache to deal with. Since the pandemic, a lot of people have been staying home and all they do is try to fix their house. They find problems everywhere because they're staying at home longer than usual. So the new homes does have a new buyer trend that they want less headache because it's new.
Hmm.
Everything's under warranty. Less money to fork out of their own pocket to maintain or to remodel, so forth. So the new homes has been holding steadily, and also the price point has been increased uh, bit by bit as well. Not dramatically, but it has been going up.
How has the lower interest rate helped you or helped the market in the Inland Empire area?
Yes, the point and interest has been going down
Hmm.
to buyer to buy their property, to buy their own property. And this interest rate, it's I don't think it's going back up anytime soon. So a lot of people need to get their act together, get their money together, and somewhat try to get a affordable loan and get themselves into a real property, and for for the future. So yeah, it has been helped a lot.
I see now. The market in the Inland Empire, are you generally dealing in the 500,000 price range?
That is correct. And with that being said, I think it's fortunate for a lot of Southern California realtors that our price point here, including some place in San Diego area, has been in the middle, half a million dollar point to $1 million. Compared to Northern California, the average price of the home is still above 1 million. So for us, in order for the buyers to get qualified for a loan and to find their dream home at a price point that they could afford, it's actually to a big advantage to Southern California agents. So use that to your advantage. And new homes in the Empire area are still between 400 to 600,000, which is a very good price point for any type of family that want to establish their own.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay, let me ask you this. What about other market in the greater Los Angeles area? Can you share with us about other market in the greater Los Angeles area?
sure. For the topic today, because we're trying to figure out what the market trend is, and I think again I'll mention a little bit that I think Kenny mastered that skill of how to get leads and to get um, the listing and buying in Greater Los Angeles area. Um, to continue what I left off from last time when we had the agent training, basically you got to step back and look at this whole market in a broader view. And what I found from a personal point of view is that due to the market condition right now, there are two main emotional factor that's triggering people to sell and buy. One is the fear, and the other one is the frustration. Now, let me categorize the two. The fear is mostly developed from tenants that right now they're having a hard time paying their rent, or some may even have it deferred. So they're using the advantage of not getting evicted, and they're creating a big debt in their pocket. So they're fearing that one day they might lose their home. So we need to find a way to generate those leads and to get those renters into a secure property. 200,000 point to 500,000 point for whatever they could afford.
Mm-hmm.
They were in buying for something that they could call themselves a home instead of renting. So
Mm-hmm.
that is fear factor what's triggering a lot of tenants to start looking at buying homes. Now, the other one, which I mentioned, is what Kenny already mastered that skill, is the frustration. A lot of frustrating landlord and investors are trying to get rid of their property. So in a way, they had enough of the tenant. They cannot use legal way them out. the tenant is causing a great inconvenience for the investor, and the investor just want to turn their investment into cash, which they
Mm-hmm.
could dump in that will bring in more ROI. So with that being said, I saw one of Kenny's listing was due to the frustration of the landlord or the investor. They're just trying to get rid of their property at a reasonable price. So that's another lead that we could generate. And among these two, the fear and frustration, I think in Centermac team, we could generate a lot of leads using our ability and tools to follow up on those leads, and it might generate the sale uh, faster than usual due to the current market trend. So again, the execution is based on emotion, and these two factors are what I see so far. That's making a big difference in the market condition right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to share with you guys since Tim brought it up. Ever since I started my YouTube channel campaign, I realized one thing that I never realized before, which is YouTube is actually a wonderful platform. The market is enormous. And the best way to influence somebody is to do it through video. Uh, I have gotten buyers leads and I've shared buyers leads with some of our agents. One of the buyers leads that I got was for a buyer, a prospective buyer who's now a tenant, and he lives in the Eastville area. And he contacted me because he saw one of my video. And after he saw my video, he had some questions about how much time he has to live on his current rental property before he can be evicted by the landlord. So through the conversation, uh, generally one of the questions I asked the tenant is, why don't you get your own place? And some guys say, well, I want to get my own place, but I don't have a job right now. Okay, so we have to figure out a way for them. I think even if they don't have a job right now, it's good to engage them right now
Mm-hmm.
because some agent might ignore them because they don't have a job right now. And if other agents are ignoring them, this could be your opportunity. I'll give you an example. I had a tenant his wife has parents in China who's going to provide 50% of the down payment for $500,000 home. I am currently working with one of our agents in the Inland Empire area to try to help this buyer look for a home. Okay. Now, one of the suggestions I have for this type of buyers, where they still have to look for another job once the pandemic recovers, if they're in the same line of work, it's not easy. It's not difficult to qualify because it's the same line of work. The lapse is very small, you know, and because of that, I think there's a lot of opportunity. Like Tim said, work with the prospective tenants who's pretty much fed up too, or some of them could do it out of fear because they owe so much money to the landlord. Now, right now, all the debt is not affecting their credit. Now, one of these days, once the pandemic is lifted, once the landlord start evicting them, it's going to affect their credit. So while their credit is still good, they might as well try to see if they can qualify for a loan. Now, in some cities, they actually have a 4 month forbearance to give the tenant some time to catch up. Now, they might as well find a job as soon as possible, and then in the meantime, start looking and see which what type of homes will work best for you. So that's why I encourage them to do so. We're working with some prospective buyers who are tenants right now. So I think that's a great opportunity. Now on the landlord side, one thing I found out is that a lot of landlords, some of them might be doing it out of fear, and some of them might be doing out of frustration with the tenants. There is a big issue looming right now concerning SB 1436. Now, if that one is passed, the landlord may not be able to recover rent for 15 months or longer, and they cannot evict the tenant for 15 months or longer. So that's a pretty scary thing for them. So who wants to look for a tenant right now? Even if you have a vacant unit, wouldn't you want to consider selling it? So that's another opportunity for us in case it makes sense for them to sell. But one of the difficulties that we have right now is that some landlord has not built enough equity So one of the objection might be that what if I sell right now, I'm losing money. So you need to handle that objection by giving them some data or stats saying basically, well, if you don't sell now, you might lose even more. I mean, you may lose 20,000 now, but if you don't sell now, your loss could be higher than 20,000 because you're dealing with two problems. One problem is there could be a price decline. The second problem is you could be stuck with the tenant for the next 15 months or longer. So that's another objection handle that you can use to convince these people to sell, and you're actually doing it to benefit them. You it looks like we got a minute left, so give me a minute summation of the advice that you're giving the new agents. What advice would you give new agents?
Okay, for new agents, remember to sign on our monthly training and anything that has to do with the company's training, because that just will give you more information of the current market trend, and you will learn a lot of stuff that you cannot find out on the book. So this is real life experiences that me and Kenny and Lily and also Jean is giving you, and plus David is going to give you some very valuable information as well. And use that to your advantage, because we are a team that want to make this market successful, and use your mind and creativity to make sure that you execute it perfectly.
All
And
right. Okay. That's those are thank you for your encouraging words, and I hope to invite you again someday. And now you can hang up now, so I can contact
all
David to get him on board. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.